Francesco Bagnaia's painful 2025 MotoGP season came to an appropriately grim conclusion at the Ricardo Tormo Circuit, where the two-world champion was once again denied the chance to showcase his true pace. His race ended prematurely after contact from Johann Zarco sent him sliding helplessly into the gravel, another chapter in a year defined by frustration, defeat, and a growing sense of disconnect inside the Ducati garage. Having already been forced to start from a lowly 16th position, Bagnaia was attempting to salvage something from the final Grand Prix of the season when the chaos struck. Before the opening lap had even been completed, Zarco, eager to gain ground, lunged aggressively and clipped the rear of Bagnaia's Ducati. The impact sent the Italian offline and onto the Valencian gravel, leaving him with no option but to retire. Race direction promptly handed Zarco a long-lap penalty, yet the consequences hardly softened the blow for Bagnaia, who trudged back to pit lane visibly defeated. It was a fitting end to what he openly describes as the worst season of his career in MotoGP, one where he also lost his title and slipped to 5th in the standings behind rising star Pedro Acosta. After returning to the garage, Bagnaia tried to maintain composure as he reflected on the latest incident. An ordinary racing incident, he offered, trying to shield Zarco from excessive blame. On the first lap, everybody tries to position themselves the best they can. These things can happen. Yet beneath the calm exterior, his remarks hinted at the deeper fatigue of a rider who has spent an entire year wrestling not just with rivals, but with a bike he never managed to understand. What happened today is completely in line with the whole season, he admitted, sounding emotionally exhausted. Everything has been difficult. I never felt comfortable with this bike, and it finishes exactly the way it started. For the first time, the Italian publicly acknowledged the sense of misalignment within Ducati, an admission that his well-known smooth riding style and the characteristics of the 2025 Desmosedici seemed to be speaking different languages. When pressed on whether he felt truly understood by the team, Bagnaia's answer was telling. All eyes now turn to Tuesday's post-season test, which may set the tone for Ducati's 2026 project. "We'll see on Tuesday," he said cautiously. "I hope everything goes well and that we can go on holiday with clear ideas." Asked what exactly going well meant to him, he did not hesitate. "Everything working the way I want," he emphasized, an unusually direct statement from a rider typically guarded in public. The question of whether the current bike requires fundamental changes was met with a weary shrug. "I don't know. We need to work and see if anything improves." And when asked whether he was unsure or simply exhausted and desperate to see the season end, Bagnaia responded with his trademark stubbornness. "I never give up. Never." Bagnaia's comments may seem mild on the surface, but between the lines the message is unmistakably sharp. He wants Ducati to stop merely hearing him and start listening. Bagnaia's discomfort on the 2025 bike has been well documented. Ducati, known for building the strongest machine on the grid, appears to have prioritized development direction that rewarded aggressive, edge-grip-hungry riders, styles more reminiscent of Jorge Martin or Marco Bezzecchi, rather than Bagnaia's signature precise, flowing cornering. His statement, "I explained everything well," suggests he believes Ducati understood the issues early on but failed to apply solutions. The mention of everything going the way I want on Tuesday is unusually forceful for Bagnaia. Ducati's 2026 project is already under heavy scrutiny, with internal expectations sky high and the garage clearly split on development philosophy. Bagnaia's tone hints at a rider who fears being left behind, while younger talents, Acosta, Marquez, Martin, drive the evolution of the sport. Make no mistake, the Tuesday test is not just any test. It is the first real step toward Ducati's 2026 weapon. If they fail to deliver a direction that restores Bagnaia's confidence, the tension inside the factory box could grow into a genuine structural issue, for the 2026 season. Bagnaia's statement that he wants to go on holiday with clear ideas underscores that this is a crucial moment. He needs clarity, he needs control, and he needs Ducati to respond decisively. Despite the bruises, physical and emotional, Bagnaia's final words remind the paddock why he is a three-time world champion. "I never give up. Never." That declaration is not for the media. It is a message aimed at Ducati. "I'm still here. Give me the tools, and I will fight for you." As Ducati evaluates the wreckage of their 2025 campaign, the atmosphere inside the Bologna garage is growing increasingly tense. Engineers, analysts, and senior management are all aware that another season like this would be unacceptable for a factory with Ducati's ambitions. Bagnaia's comments, subtle yet sharp, have only added fuel to the internal debate about whether the team has strayed too far from the bike philosophy that once made them unbeatable. The feeling in the paddock is that Ducati now stands at a crossroads, forced to decide whether to recenter their development around their triple world champion or continue down a path that may favour their younger, more aggressive riders. Behind the scenes, whispers suggest that some within Ducati were already uneasy about the 2025 development direction long before Valencia. The Desmocedes evolution, meant to increase stability under braking and mid-corner agility, instead ended up creating a machine that seemed to punish Bagnaia's smooth, methodical style. The Italian has never been a rider who thrives on constant corrections or unpredictable front-end feedback, yet that is exactly what the 2025 bike demanded. As the season progressed, the disparity between what the numbers on paper promised and what Bagnaia actually felt on track grew impossible to ignore. Complicating matters further is Ducati's increasingly crowded talent pool. With riders like Pedro Acosta rising rapidly and Marquez demonstrating flashes of brilliance on the GP25, Ducati finds itself balancing both performance potential and political pressure. Every rider has a voice, but not every voice carries the same influence. Bagnaia's recent remarks hint at a growing concern that his voice, despite his titles, may not be the one shaping the technical direction as strongly as it once did. In MotoGP, influence inside the garage is everything, and Bagnaia appears to be fighting to reclaim his. The wider paddock is also watching closely. Rival manufacturers have already taken note of Bagnaia's public frustration, recognizing that when a rider of his pedigree admits to feeling misunderstood, it signals deeper issues. Yamaha, Aprilia and KTM have all experienced their own internal fractures over development priorities, and they know how quickly those fractures can turn into long-term damage. For Ducati, the margin for error is razor thin. Any sign of instability could jeopardize their dominance just as the next generation of riders begins to peak.